What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Social Media Mindset. And I love my guest because of the power of social media. We have never been in the same room with one another, though we talk on a regular basis. We have similar backgrounds. We have similar struggles.
We have similar backgrounds, literally.
We do have literal background similarities, but also background of our lives. Right. And just the struggles we've had, the things we've overcome. And bro, it is long overdue to have an episode together. And so Nick SAKKIS, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my friend. I'm excited. It depends on how far you want to go back, though. Do you want to go back all the way to like punt, pass, and kick?
Dude,
going that far back?
What the heck? You know, I when you told me that you also did punt, pass, and kick, but that you won
my whole life,
I was jealous because I always said I could win, but I never actually won.
Dude, I still got the size medium starter Buccaneers puffy jacket in my closet that one of my kids is going to wear one day.
Get out of here.
I went to Hawaii. They gave us all starter gear back then, which was the coolest. It's actually coming back in now, so I probably could get money for that jacket, but
unbelievable.
One of my kids will rock it for sure.
Well, I don't want to talk about that because it just makes me feel bad. So, and this is my show. And so I'm not going to, but dude, you have a company called Lead Max, which we're going to talk about. Yep. You've had your real estate license since 2005. So you've been through some stuff. You've seen some stuff. You know how to navigate these waters. And then you've also, you got heavy into the digital marketing space back in 2017 to the present. And so we've got lots of stuff to talk about today. Where I want to kind of start is, you've had your real estate license for a really long time, right? 17-ish years.
Yep.
And so why 12 years into having your real estate license, why did you decide to make the jump from selling real estate to the digital side of things and helping realtors cultivate leads and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. So it didn't take that long. Just I didn't officially incorporate until 2017. So
okay.
When the long story short of it, since we don't have a lot of time, is like anything else, and anybody can relate to this inside the real estate office. When you find somebody that's doing something at a high level, and even more so now because we have podcasts, it's a lot easier to access that information.
Yeah.
But picture like somebody's in your office and they're just crushing, right? So when you find out someone's crushing listings, buyers, whatever, social media, like if they're in your office, you go knock on their door and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, how is this happening? What's going on? So that was me back in 2011, right? So 2005, I got my license. 2008, the market collapsed. I basically got out from like 2008 to 10, 11, somewhere around there. And then I went through a journey. I was a salesman basically my whole life, but I sold cars. I sold car stereo goods. I worked for LG as a trainer, helping people sell appliances. So I went through a couple of different jobs where I was like, man, I'm tired of making other people money, but I was getting some like basic marketing training because I was a marketing manager. And so back like 2011, the real estate market was picking back up, and my mom's like, hey, why don't you come back in and join us? Like, are you done having fun, making other people money? So got back in, and that's right when everything really started peaking online. The Real Geeks had their podcast. It was like the #1 podcast.
Yep.
Frank Klesitz and I forget the main guy from Real Geeks, but so I got back in 2011, got a Real Geeks webpage, spent months building the whole thing out with hundreds of different pages for different subdivisions, that whole SEO thing. And there was a thing called Facebook that people were talking about, right?
Yeah.
I completely obsessed over Facebook advertising, and I was literally getting seller listing leads, like come to my house and list my property for $1.
Wow.
And it was the most ridiculous thing. And I joked with people that once I figured out how to do Facebook ads back then, I could have put a picture of my ball sack on a Facebook ad and someone would have clicked it and called me because it was like nobody was doing it. Like it was so fresh and new. There was no competition. So like all the stuff you guys are still doing now that we still do in some capacity, like the, home valuation and distressed property, like to get sellers' attention, it was so new back then. There was no Zillow's estimates. So it was just easy. It was so easy, right? So all of a sudden, our little team that was $6, $7, $8 million was doing 15, 18, $20 million. And people were knocking on my door like, Nick, what are you doing? Can you teach me?
Yeah.
So I started teaching some classes, just, you know, out of the goodness of my heart kind of thing.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, there's a lot of people that are contacting me for this. And they're like, this is cool that you're like teaching us, but I don't want to learn this. I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? So for a couple years, I was literally just helping people on and off if they wanted to work real closely with. So like, I didn't know about coaching or like how to be a digital marketer or anything like that. It was just people that were close to me, right? So then you do that for a couple years. I was still selling real estate. I hadn't had any kids yet. I had some stepkids, but they were already older anyway. So like my life was different. I was all Gary V hustle mode grind. Like I could just go out and do my thing. Then my first son was born and I was like, hey, I need to take a step back from this day to day, nights and weekends, like all that kind of stuff. And so that's like 2017. I was like, I see this going into place. I can do this full time. I still like real estate, but there's too many people that are asking me to just help them full time. So in order to serve them at the highest that I possibly can, I can't do this other thing anymore. I got to focus on this 100%. So that's when I started getting into one-on-one coaching and then doing done for you Facebook ads since then. So primarily Facebook is about 75 to 80% of our ad spend. We do YouTube pre-roll as well. Some PPC, not much, depending on the budget. So like I have some bigger companies that I work with that, you know, we do PPC, but you got to have a lot more money, in my opinion.
Sure.
It's a lot easier still to just turn on some Facebook ads if you're under $1,000 a month in ad spend and get results. So yeah, that's the journey up until now.
So talk us through, like, because you just rattle off ad spend and you know, you guys, I say you guys, you know, you and I get lumped into the same category, but I don't even know how to spell Facebook ad, right? Like that's not my vein of digital marketing.
Yeah.
And so you just rattled off, like we do, you know, 75 to 80% Facebook, some PPC, some YouTube pre-roll. Like the average person listening right now doesn't even have a clue what all that means.
Right.
And then you also said, like, you know, if you're under $1,000 budget, you should probably stick to Facebook. Like, so what would be like if you were writing a dummy's guide to ads? How would you kind of qualify people to say, like, you should probably do Facebook, you should do some PPC, you should do YouTube, you know, you might be more fit for Google AdWords. Like how do you, because it's not one size fits all.
Right.
So how do you decide like who should do what?
So the first category bucket, if you want to get in advertising and you're not a fan of Kyle Draper and doing short form video content,
and who is? No one is.
Right. Yeah. Then you really should take a look at Google PPC because your face doesn't need to be on it. Right.
Okay.
You could stand up a beautiful IDX site, turn on some PPC ads. Your face doesn't need to be involved. Your brand doesn't need to be involved. But that is a very, very rough game when it comes to online because you're not building any kind of relationship with these people.
Right.
It is first person to the lead, and the follow-up on that is the game. It's not like, you know, I can argue with somebody else who's a PPC manager about what tactic to use here or there and maybe get a little bit of different ad spend. You know, my ad campaign might be a little bit better in this niche versus another. It doesn't matter. You can get the difference between a $5 lead and a $10 lead in a market. That doesn't matter. It's what's happening on the back end to get these people in your car,
right,
or at a closing table for a listing agreement, right? So it's much more important when you're not building a personal brand. So if that's you, if you're an introvert, if you're not going to be on video, then boom, Google PPC would probably be a good move, right? Second to that, and now this is emerging, we're still dabbling in this right now, is TikTok ads. And the only reason I say you don't have to build a brand for TikTok ads is because you can use the TikTok creator market to run ads for your brand and or pay other influencers to do your marketing for you.
Oh, wow.
So if you don't want to be the brand person in front of the brand, you can still run TikTok ads and have other influencers do the ads for you. So that's a really like cutting edge emerging and, you know, end of 2022 to 23. that's a really good play. It's an expensive play because in TikTok, you have to be at least $20 a day, where Facebook, you can still turn on ads for $5 a day. So
Okay.
again, bobbing and weaving. I usually
So
always ask, yeah, go ahead.
well, so to make sure I understand that, so that we all understand it, like when my book comes out early 2023,
Yep.
I could pick people to essentially like be my influencers and like cutting videos on TikTok about my book. Is
Dude,
that what we're talking
we are
about?
in the creator economy, and there is a army of people out there that are looking for work.
Wow.
And the cool part about it is their resumes online. Like
Oh, yeah.
everybody wants to be like, if you're, I don't know what generation we're in, right? If you're 18,
Are we the same age?
I'm 38.
Oh, I've just turned 40. So I mean,
Okay,
we're
so
both like, we're still considered millennials, even though
right,
we're old
the top end
millennials.
millennial, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're younger, if you're even in high school, like the person graduating from high school right now doesn't care as much about going to college when they can be a full-time creator. They can
Right.
make 3, 4, 5 grand working with a couple specific brands and partnerships. And more people are starting to realize that. That's why retail is going down. Like, anyway, that's a whole nother podcast, but
yeah, no doubt.
like just in general. But if you're a business owner and you don't want to be the face of a brand, I know you preach that, like you're the face, get out there, get video, like that's cool.
Yeah.
But there's more opportunity now than ever to get good people on your team to do that stuff for you, and you could become the manager of it, right?
Yeah.
And TikTok is a great example of that, because they have the playbook is there, and you can go look up people and you can get people to do videos for you for 50, 75, $150, like that don't have a lot of reach because they haven't been found yet, right? We're not talking about going to Kylie Jenner and trying to get a sponsored post there. It's like an everyday person.
Yeah.
But you can go to their profile, you can see what they've done. And then, yeah, you, Kyle, can go out and say, all right, I'm going to dedicate 100 books to 100 creators on TikTok, and I'm going to spend $5 grand and get 50 videos. That could be some of the best money you've ever spent.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So there's different strategies, but that,
okay.
So that's one thing. As far as the Facebook, Instagram, that whole genre, you really, in most major markets right now, especially because we're talking real estate mortgage, you got to be in the $20 to $25 a day budget. Because what happens, a lot of the trap that a lot of people fall into when I say that you can still do Facebook ads for $5, you can, but not anything lead generation oriented. Branding and impressions and engagement. Like if you want to do retargeting. So my to all the Kyle Draper viewers out there, your first step to marketing for building a brand would be to listen to what Kyle says, do the videos, post them on social, figure out which ones are doing better organically, and then take those and boost them. Okay. And you can do it individually. You can lump them up into one campaign and spend $5 a day and just have a continuous rotating, right? But that's where the strategy would come in, where you'd say, okay, I'm going to do the videos, I'm going to do the work, but you're just helping yourself by adding some ad spend behind it so more people can see what you have going on, right? That's a very easy entrance. And then you can do custom audiences. So if you do actually have a database, you put that in there. Now your people are seeing you more often. But when it comes to actual hardcore lead conversion, most major markets, you got to be $25 to be effective. For the most part, our average, anybody who wants to be serious about lead gen, is $50 a day. So about $1,500 a month. Yeah. Will get you in the top rankings of most markets and get you a couple of leads per day and a pretty good cadence that you can close. Because what a lot of people fall in the trap, and they think if I spend less money, I don't want you to do that. So number one hack I can give you right now from a nerdy ads guy, is if you have a $500 budget, you're better off spending more money per day for less days per week than to try to stretch it out over a longer period of time. Okay. If you've had a bad experience with Facebook ads and you get low quality leads and it sucked for you, it's probably because you don't have a high enough ad spend. And it's a catch-22. I mean, there's multiple factors. Your ads could suck, right? That's one thing. You could have no follow-up process. That's another thing. But for the most part, if you are just copying ads that you bought from somebody, like these ads were supposed to work because the guy said they work, but they didn't work for me. They probably didn't work for you because of your price point. So what happens with the algorithm is Facebook will take, like, think of placements. So you're bidding $5, someone else is bidding $25. Who do you think Facebook can give you the higher quality lead? The $25 guy or the $5 guy?
The $25.
The $25 guy is going to get the better quality lead with the higher placement every single time. So instead of spending $5 per day, spend $10 per day and just knock off one of the days. And you can pick and choose that. Like, not many people do that. Even still to this day, that's the number one thing you can do. Don't advertise on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, if you have a budget, advertise Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just spend more money on those days. You'll get higher quality leads, and more people are paying attention those days anyway on social.
Right.
Where's the open
That's so
houses?
smart.
Where are they going? Right. So that would be my number one hack for all the agents.
Well, that's a great hack. And you're about to give another hack, because what you just said, you and I were talking about it before, that most people have a bad taste in their mouth for lead gen online because their follow-up sucks.
Yeah.
But they blame the ad. They blame the person that, is behind the ad. So talk us through, like, in your opinion, if you were to say, like, man, that person or that team, that group, like, their follow-up is so good when it comes to the way they convert online ads, like, what would that follow-up system look like?
That's a whole nother podcast, but here's another easy thing to digest, right?
Okay.
There is no real difference. And so here's, let me go back on this. Agents get in the game, and mortgage brokers the same way. You get in the game, you hear, I got a cold call, I got a prospect. Okay. Red X, Vulcan dialer, whatever. You get in the game, you got a triple line dial, you got to hustle, you got to spend 3 hours a day cold calling people, right? Agents do that for a short stint. Either A, you say, I'm never going to do that, fine. Or you do it for a short stint, you get kicked in the teeth and you hate it and you stop doing it. And then you start listening to podcasts looking for the secret. What's the secret? What are all these other people doing? Well, those other people are contacting people every single day. So whether you are cold calling with a Red X, triple dialer, Vulcan, whatever, or you are spending 2 to 3 hours a day following up with the people that engaged your social media ads, it's the same game.
Right.
Just instead of a cold list, you are now following up with people who have engaged in your marketing. Yeah. It's the same person. They're the same people, right? So what I will tell you is the most successful people. So I have 2 buckets. The software is one thing. So Lead Max, you can actually go in. There's automated follow-up that's in there, but everybody has automated follow-up to an extent. People know what that is, right? Or the human-based follow-up. So either you pay for a human to follow up for you, which we have agents that do that.
Yep.
If you don't have the money, you have the time. So you either have to pick what you want. We can outfit Lead Max for you with the ads that are done for you, the people on the back end that will actually book appointments for you, but it ain't cheap. It is what it is, right? So if you have the time, the best follow-up you can possibly do is pick a number, and the best agents that I've come across since 2005 do this on a daily basis. How many conversations are they having per day? Is it 20? Is it 50? Is it 100? And that's your goal for the day. And no matter where those conversations come from, whether it's your database in your sphere, whether it's circle prospecting on a Vulcan dialer, or whether it's following up with the social media leads that came in your pipeline, it's literally going into a CRM someplace where you can actually track. Because, and we talk about weight loss, like what you don't track doesn't happen, right?
Yep.
So you need to track conversations that you're having on a daily basis. And there's like, don't think that there's this, you have to have this huge plan or this follow-up sequence and this special email hack and all. Forget all that shit. Just talk to people every day. Yeah. If somebody opts into your, if you have a Facebook ad that's running and you have leads that are coming in, they're not just going to jump in the boat. You're not fishing with a net. Facebook ad, you're going fishing, and everybody thinks that a lead is just going to jump in your boat, get qualified on your appointment as an appointment, show up in your office and sign a listing agreement.
Right.
It doesn't work. You still have to fish. You still have to talk to people. So the accelerant to online ads is, okay, if you're circle prospecting, that's super cold. You have their information. Right. Unless you're using like an artificial intelligence to know which houses are thinking about selling in the next 90 days, which we have relationships with, like likely.ai. That's cool. But the Facebook side of it is these are people who are actively in the market clicking around online. So they are one step closer. So it's not quite as long of a tail. But at the end of the day, any company that tells you, you know, we guarantee you listings or we guarantee you this and we do that, all they're doing is churning and burning. Like I've seen them all. I know them all. I'm in private groups with most of them.
Right. Yeah.
When you don't get the 10 listings in the 3-month period, all they're going to do is offer to work with you for free for another 90 days or whatever the hack is. You never get your money back. There is no secret. It's literally run the ads, follow up with the people, and you'll have a much better life, right? There's no getting around the hard work. So either you're going to do it because you have time, or you're going to pay somebody because you have the money.
Well, and this is no different, you know, like, so you and I have both lost over 100 pounds in different parts. I think were you over did you lose over 200?
I lost 185.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So you've lost 185 pounds. I've lost 100 pounds twice, right, on two different occasions.
Yeah, I'm going back to it again. Yeah, because
so you're going back to it again. And the bottom line is, like, losing weight isn't rocket science. You know, we eat less sugar. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I lost a pound yesterday. Right. Like you go work out for an hour. And so no matter what it is, it's the basics done consistently over time that create the winners from the losers. And so everything you just said, I set you up, right, to, like, that's what Lead Max is. Right. So to make sure everybody understands, Lead Max, your new company that you've created, is you've got different tiers for people. Yeah. So that for a cheaper price, you're helping some, but there's a little bit more work on their side. But you've also got all the way to the other side where you're literally doing everything for them.
Yep.
You want to fill in the gaps with anything from the Lead Max perspective?
Yeah. So Lead Max was born out of, like I said, since 2017, it's been about $5 million plus in ad spend that we've run through the company, right? Through different, different people signing up for ad spend. And so the holes that I found when running paid advertising, for the most part, is people are very confused as to what's going on. So like, you get excited about running Facebook ads, you find some guru or you pay some marketing company, you're like, this is going to be the thing that's going to move my business forward. And then they start sending you leads, and then you realize the leads suck, right? So then it's a follow-up. So what are they doing on the follow-up? Well, you didn't sign up for the follow-up package. And now I don't really know what ads I'm running. I realize that I have to do a lot more work because there's more people in my world right now, and I don't necessarily like it. You last 3 months, and then you blame the marketing company because you didn't have transparency on what was going on. You didn't know how much they were spending. There was no follow-up in place, and you were just confused, and you just felt like you got burned. You spent $5,000 probably, and you're like, I'm never doing lead generation again because that lead company screwed me and the leads suck. So ultimately, the biggest cog in that wheel is the transparency, because for the most part, and we do this for a reason. So if you sign up with a marketing company and you're like, can you just put the ads in my ad account? Because I've gotten that before. Well, anytime you give a performance guarantee as a company, you want to have full control over the system. So what happened to me in the early days, because I'm a nice guy and I didn't want to follow the New York City ad agency model, which was we have complete control of everything. I was running my ads in people's ad accounts for them so they could see everything that was going on. All the ads that were running, like everything, they saw everything. Well, the problem was my performance guarantee. When I said I give you 90 leads in 90 days, and this was back, a couple years ago, the leads were coming in, and then some people would go, oh, well, I'll just turn off the ads so we don't hit the performance guarantee and I can get my deposit back. Or so they, like, I was intentionally, and it happened more than a couple times. So after it happened like 5 times where people were like turning off the ads, and then we'd get on a weekly call and I'm like talking about, they're like, well, I couldn't handle the leads that were coming through and I had to turn them off. Oh, but your performance guarantee is 90 leads in 90 days and we're not going to hit it. And like, so I was like, forget that. I'm taking full control over everything again. Wow. And then I started hearing the same thing again, right? Like, well, what ads are running? Because everybody thinks the ads are secretive. Well, guess what? Facebook has a Facebook library. You can see everybody's ads that everybody's running. There is no more secret ad. So like, if you're listening to podcasts trying to like find out who's got the secret ad, there is no secret ad. Go on Facebook ads library and type in real estate, and you'll see all the ads that everybody's running.
And we'll go ahead and do the work for you guys. And in the show notes, we'll have the link to where that library is.
So what ended up happening is, and I would talk to the majority of my clients were like the real estate agents, the mortgage brokers, and the small business owners who don't have this huge budget, right? So like my largest client is a pharmaceutical manufacturer. We run $30,000 a day sometimes on Facebook ads, right? Like they have a huge budget. Well, most of the people that were coming to me were like, how do I utilize $1,500 to the most that I possibly could?
Right.
And that was really tough because my fee, which I didn't want to deteriorate because I've spent 10,000 hours honing my craft on how to do this so I could turn on the switch. I charge $1,000 a month to run somebody's ads. And then somebody would come to me and say, well, I only have $1,500 to spend. So after a couple of years of this, I'm like, how do I figure this out to where everybody wins?
Yeah.
And so what I did is I went out and sought out this software. It's the same software that I've been using for a while as far as a CRM, but I found a plugin that allows me to take Facebook and integrate it into my CRM. So now I don't need to be there and hold your hand because the entire Facebook ad library of all the best Facebook ads that I've ever run is now in the dashboard for you to click a couple buttons. So you can come in for $300 a month and get access to the same secret ads that everybody else runs. But instead of going in the Facebook ads manager and having trying to figure all that shit out, you press 3 buttons and the ads running in your account.
That's awesome.
Number one, you know exactly what ads are running because you press the 3 buttons to make it happen. You have complete control over the ad spend. You move the dial, whether you want to spend $5 a day or $25 a day, and you have control over everything. Only it's through my system, so I get to see everything and optimize.
Yeah.
So on the back end, I can take a look at my dashboard and see what ads are performing and what aren't, and I can click a couple buttons and optimize your ads for you without you even having to be there. So it gives me the ability to scale. Like I could onboard 1,000 people tomorrow and the system would be able to handle it. Right.
Yeah.
So it's really built. LeadMax is really built for larger franchises, larger operations, a big brokerage that might have 100 agents. Right. And they want their whole team to be able to run similar ads in their market, but have complete control over the whole thing. That's what LeadMax was built for. So we have like an entry level tier and then all the way up into I run the ads for you still in your account. So you still see everything, but I'm the one clicking buttons. And then we have virtual assistants on the back end, literally following up with people for you and booking appointments on your calendar. It's still cheaper than most every other, when I first started doing that as a full service package, it was $2,500 a month plus ad spend. Wow. That's how much it costs. And people were paying it and it was still ROI positive and it worked, but that doesn't work for most people. Now with LeadMax, I could be sub $1,000 for a very similar system from lead generation to follow up and booking appointments.
It's incredible.
And the whole thing through software, which is powerful.
So how do people connect with you for LeadMax if they want to learn more about it?
They can go to tryleadmax.com or go to nicksakkis.com. Links there too.
We'll put both of those in the show notes. Bro, that's awesome, man. I love it. It's amazing when we can use technology to like be the good guy and optimize things for, the people around us that you've spent millions of other people's money and your own money, like making this fruitful for people. So I love that, man. So what I want to kind of close the show with is the phrase that's been sitting over your head this entire episode for anybody watching this on video is, overnight success.
Yep.
Talk to us about what that's all about.
Yeah. So one thing, I haven't had a personal brand. So I've been doing the Real Estate Uncensored podcast for a couple years. I've done podcast production for other people. I haven't had a personal brand to hang my hat on. Like you have Coach Kyle Draper, right? So it's been something in the back of my mind. It's like the mechanic's car whose car doesn't run kind of thing, like that joke, right? Yeah. So another friend of mine who is a really good friend, also in the real estate space, was in the real estate space. Now he's in financial, cryptocurrency, all that kind of stuff. We've been talking for about a year about doing a show together. And so that was going to be a cryptocurrency related show, but he's much more than cryptocurrency. He has a whole coaching community right now. He does a lot of mindset training,
Okay.
personal development. We're both really big on personal development. The way that it comes out is me and him, just our core values and beliefs are very similar on what we believe on. Your business can only grow to the extent that you do, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. If that resonates with you, then you'll probably really like overnight success. So a couple of weeks ago, you know, Kyle had mentioned about me losing 185 pounds. In 2020, I did. I lost 185 pounds in 12 months, naturally, no surgery, just hardcore calorie deficit. And then I felt so good after a year of dieting that I went a whole nother year and gained back 100 pounds. So like I went from tracking everything religiously. I was posting weekly on my Facebook page, the whole journey from start to finish, measurements, everything, right? I documented the whole thing. And then I went in another year on top of that. So after that, 2021, where I didn't track anything. And so I just gradually started gaining weight back till finally I hit the 100 pounds gained again. And I was just depressed and I was like really bummed out.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't posting anything on social media about me gaining weight because I was embarrassed. Right. So, I posted a couple things and I got on a call about 3 weeks ago with a friend that saw that whole journey, but had disconnected from Facebook. So like he was on Facebook when I was doing the thing, but disconnected. And so I put a post on Facebook about 2 weeks ago that I was working on so many different things. Like I was launching Lead Max. I was doing a couple things in the back when I had a coaching program that I closed, and I've had my worst financial year to date because I had so many expenses coming out and not a lot of things coming in. Not like a bum sitting on the couch, but just business, right? It happens.
Yep.
So when I hopped on the Zoom call with my buddy, he's like, man, he's like, what's going on, dude? Like, I'll support you any way I can. Like, he's like, I loved your post when you were losing the weight and stuff. He's like, and I'm not big on Facebook, but it seemed like you just lost 185 pounds overnight and you were like an overnight success. And I was like, that's interesting. He's like, you should start posting again because I know that kept you accountable. And like, so the whole idea was me starting to post again my journey. He's like, just tell people how you gain the weight back. Everybody will relate. Like everybody loves you. Just go ahead and keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I sat with that. I'm like, okay, I definitely want to get back into a routine again when it comes to weight loss. But that overnight success thing was sitting in the back of my head. And so when I talked to Jamar and we were trying to figure out what the show was going to be called and like going back and forth for weeks, I'm like, overnight success, dude. Like that's what it is. That's what we're rocking with. So
I love
it's
that.
going to be a flagship podcast starting in January. So we're doing a YouTube channel. We already have coaching in effect. We're going to have merchandise. It is going to be the biggest brand that I've been behind. And it just happens to be that I'm 50% partner of it.
Yeah.
But if you're into personal development, if you, whether you have a business or you're an athlete, we're going to be bringing some serious heat next year for 2023. And we're creating a membership, a community of just people who are getting after it and want abundance in every aspect of their life.
Yeah.
So if that appeals to you, go to overnightsuccessnetwork.com and sign up for the pre-launch because we're going to have some swag.
Come on.
We are going to have a mastermind that you're going to get a discount on if you sign up initially. Like it's going to be one of the biggest things that I've ever been a part of. And I'm super pumped about it.
Man, I love it, bro. I can't wait to watch it play out.
Yeah.
We've both
we're going to have you on, bro. We're going to have guests. We're going to have expert guests and yeah, dude, for sure.
Probably need to lose some more weight so I can have good things to talk about while we're on there.
You always have good things to talk about, dude. Come on.
Oh, you're too kind to me.
Yeah.
So what is the, are you a word guy? Like for the new year, do you like pick a word or
I've done that before.
Like what would just be, what would be your core focus like moving into, in 2023, if you had to kind of sum it up in one word?
2 words come to mind and they're both very similar. So one is abundance and one is wealth, but not wealth in the way that you think about wealth, right?
Okay.
So for 2023, it's not wealth in the term of going to a store and just buying whatever you want. Like I want my health to be dialed in. I want to have the best relationships I could possibly have with people. I want to have the best relationships with my kids, with my wife, with my family, right? There's so many different aspects of wealth, and it's not just tied to personal finance. And so that's where the abundance comes in. Like for me, there's so much abundance in this world that we oftentimes get into fear of thinking about the lack of, and especially with all like this, the recession coming and real estate slowing down and all that, it doesn't matter. Every market could take a complete dump in 2023. How many houses do you need to sell as a mortgage broker or as a real estate agent to be wildly successful?
Right.
50? How much of the market is that? A percent, half a percent in your market. So like we get into this trap of like headline reading and fear and all, like, it doesn't matter. You can take control over your own life and you can be wildly successful while everybody just sits in fear. And that's what this is about, right? Overnight success is just abundance and being truly wealthy, which is well-rounded and not just a big bank account. And then you have nothing to show for it.
I love that, bro. What a great way to end the show, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. And dude, thanks for coming on the show today.
I appreciate you, man.
Where do people go find you online?
nicksakkis.com, Linktree. That's got all my links. Or go to Facebook, TikTok. I'm on all of them. Type in Nick Sakkis. It's an easy, I got a pretty unique last name, so I pop up first.
SAKKIS.
Yep.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
Well, guys, maybe this year you'll get inspired by one of us to go lose 100 pounds for yourself. You know, go join the 100-pound club. Talk to them about Lead Max. Go be a part of Overnight Success. I can't wait to see it unfold for you and for the people's lives that change because they're a part of it with you. Bro, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, guys, we'll be back next episode with a really cool person with an even cooler story. See ya.